Hello and welcome to the Midday News. The weather was perfect as 14 high and secondary school marching groups paraded into the Lay Showgrounds yesterday to officially open the 2025 Morobe Inter-School Exhibition. The two-day event will see over 10,000 students converge at the showgrounds to learn from each other under the theme Creativity, Innovation and Unity in Education in Morobe.
Under clear skies, neatly dressed students from 14 different high and secondary schools in Morobe proudly flew their banners as they marched in time to the beating drums of Bugandi's brass band. In Lay, it's not an event worth mentioning if the iconic Bugandi brass band is not performing. The schools around Lay City, Huon Gulf District, Bulolo, and even rural Minyama, with only 5 students representing the latter, paraded into the Lay Showgrounds and demonstrated their marching patterns as their peers enthusiastically cheered them on from the side. The parade signifies the official opening of 2 days of inter-school exhibition under the theme Creativity, Innovation and Unity in Education in Morobe. When the exhibition was first hosted in 2019, Noble said most schools did not know what to do or what was expected of them. The second and third exhibitions were hosted in 2022 and 2023 as the COVID-19 pandemic had prevented large gatherings in 2020 and 2021. Last year, the Action Committee could not host an exhibition due to funding constraints. This year, 200,000 kina from the Morobe provincial government has made the event possible, with Noble expressing his delight that this year the marching has improved. He outlined that over 380,000 kina is needed to achieve their goal, and that is to award the best students in physics, chemistry, biology, music and others, either through government scholarships or sending them to study abroad. The different schools have set up their exhibitions under science and technology, tourism and hospitality, arts and culture, agriculture and herbs, and entertainment, including public speaking, music, mimicry, drama, fashion parades and tableau. Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Lay.
5 students from Morobe's rural Minyama Secondary School bravely held their heads up as they marched alongside 13 other high and secondary school students into the Lay Showgrounds yesterday. They had travelled for 6 hours into Lay, arriving at Busu Secondary School at around 4 a.m. yesterday to take part in the 2025 Morobe Inter-School Exhibition.
14 marching groups representing the 14 participating schools paraded into the Lay Showgrounds on Thursday, July 10th to officially open the 2025 Morobe Inter-School Exhibition. While 13 of the schools had nearly 20 or more students marching proudly with their well-designed banners and crisp marching attires, Morobe's rural Minyama Secondary School only had 5 students, 3 male and 2 female students. Dressed in their green and black uniforms, it was obvious that the group was hastily put together for the morning parade. Grade 12 Line 1 student Brendan Gipion found himself pushed to the front when the teachers decided to put all their efforts on the science display. While he was disappointed with not only his teachers but their student leaders as well, he decided to lead the small group of marchers into the arena, hastily instructing them on simple patterns while marching. Fellow marcher, grade 10 student Jody Jonamjie, who is part Central and Minyama, burst into tears as she told of how they had traveled for 6 hours to finally reach their host school, Busu Secondary, at 4 a.m. After only a few hours of rest, they had to get ready and move to the Lay Showgrounds for the parade then exhibition.
And for our students, we didn't even practice how to march and also everything, but they picked us 10 of us, but all the students, they don't want to participate, and they just left, and they don't want. So for 5 of us, we would love to leave, because yesterday we didn't have a good night rest because we were traveling until it's morning, and now we're down here just because our school name, we have to stand here without eating properly. So it really helps a lot to see MENSEC really taking part on the marching. For us students, we are happy because we would love our school's name to be on the list also, not absent or everything. So we would do everything for our school, even if we are tired or hungry, even we are stressed out, but we still have to do it because of our schools. To us, we see this as a competition, but also we see this as a stepping stone for us to step on. Thank you.
12 teachers had traveled down with the first group of Minyama secondary school students. The students rarely travel down to Lake City, and though they were sorely disappointed and even entertained the thought of returning home immediately, Grade 10 student Jody said they will use this experience as a stepping stone. Kamala Guare, TV1 News, Lei.
Turning abroad, it was a solid day for both the Australian dollar and the share market, while Donald Trump's new tariffs on copper and Brazilian imports might have unintended consequences for American consumers.
Self-harm continues, with Donald Trump sending out more letters to other countries, dictating the new tariffs their goods will face when they arrive in the US. The tariff on Brazil's imports will jump from 10 to 50%, partly because he's unhappy that his political ally, the former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, is being prosecuted for, allegedly, trying to overthrow the government after an election loss. A few parallels there. But the use of tariffs as political punishment will probably end up making inflation worse for American consumers, especially for those who can't live without their coffee. Particularly when you consider Brazil is America's largest supplier of Arabica beans. Plus, coffee inflation in Trump land is already above 10%, and it's not easy to find alternatives quickly. So Starbucks should probably be up in arms about this. On top of that, the US president has announced August the 1st is when his massive 50% tariff on copper imports will begin, which led to copper futures in America surging to record highs, much higher than everywhere else. So this looks to be the early signs of an own goal. Meanwhile, it was a solid day for mining stocks, which drove the Australian share market up by 0.6%. The Aussie dollar is buying 65.5 US cents, while gold, oil and iron ore prices rose. Overseas, markets traded mostly higher, with Wall Street getting a major boost from Nvidia, which has hit a market value of $4 trillion US. And in the past 2.5 years, its share price has risen by 1,000%. Even the price of Bitcoin, which hit a new record, didn't rise anywhere near as much, which gives you an idea about how crazy this AI boom is. And that's finance.
Back home in sports, Team PNG has secured 5th place overall at the conclusion of the 2025 Pacific Mini Games in Koror, Palau. Out of the 23 countries that competed, PNG won 77 medals in total.
Papua New Guinea competed hard through the 9 sports and ended its campaign with an impressive all-round performance, securing 5th place on the overall medal tally. The final medal tally saw Tahiti dominating the competitions from day one and finishing at the top with 72 gold medals, 41 silver and 27 bronze. Fiji with 27 gold, 30 silver and 24 bronze. Samoa with 27 gold, 14 silver and 20 bronze. Australia with 24 gold, 16 silver and 15 bronze. And PNG on 5th place with 22 gold, 27 silver and 26 bronze. Athletics led the medal count with a total of 50 medals, producing one of the biggest highlights of the Games. On 7 July, the men's 4x100-meter relay team of Pius Whistle, Johnny Bai, Emmanuel Anis and Timothy Tuna broke the national record with a time of 40.23 seconds surpassing the previous record of 40.29 seconds set by Peter Pulu, Subul Babo, Amos Ali, and Alan Akia at the 1995 Pacific Games in Tahiti. PNG also won gold in the newly introduced mixed 4x400 relay, a first for the PNG Mini Games, and another gold in the women's 1500-meter final. In weightlifting, PNG's champions returned to the podium in full force. Moria Baru dominated the men's 65 kg division with 3 gold medals, while Tikatoa won 2 gold and 1 silver in the women's 53 kg. Stephen Carey returned to the international competition, claiming 1 silver and 1 bronze in the men's 110 kg. Thelma Toa and Idao Uvagi each collected 3 bronze medals in their respective weight classes. PNG also made history in VAR. Raka Macy won a bronze medal in the men's V1 16 km, marking PNG's first ever medal in a V1 event. The men's and women's teams both secured silver in the V6 1500 meter, and PNG also took silver in the V12 mixed team event. In indoor volleyball, Team PNG battled through to the final and came away with silver, falling short to Wallis and Fortuna. In beach volleyball, PNG defeated Samoa in their playoff match to secure 5th place overall. PNG softball team made a proud return to international competition after 2 decades, claiming bronze after a strong game against host nation Palau. PNG women were defending gold medalists from the 2015 Pacific Games in Port Moresby. In the pool, Janali Tokome Garab brought home PNG's only swimming medals with silver and bronze in the women's 100-meter freestyle. The women's basketball 3x3 team put up a strong performance in the bronze playoff match against Northern Marianas, narrowly losing 16-21 in a close and hard-fought game. Team PNG's performance at the 2025 Pacific Mini Games not only brought home medals, but also delivered historic moments, inspired the next generation of athletes, and reaffirmed the nation's competitive spirit on the regional stage. The next Pacific Mini Games will be held in the Cook Islands in 2029. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
PNG Hunters veteran prop forward and former Rabaul Gurriers Jordan Pat will celebrate his milestone 50th game this weekend when the Hunters take on Central Queensland Capras in round 17 of the QRL Host Plus Cup. Pat joins his inspirational captain Ila Alu, who also plays his 100th game, making this clash very special.
The 27-year-old Western Highlands native made a comeback to the Hunters camp end of 2023 season after a 2-year hiatus during the pandemic period from 2020 to 2022. It was not an easy transition to secure his spot, having to compete against the emerging younger players in the squad, but he has adapted well to the team's culture under current coach Paul Ayton. Building from last year's form, Pat's game this year has again gone another level, especially his work ethic and consistency, making the number 8 jumper his own. At last Sunday's remarkable upset win over Townsville Blackhawks, Pat played his heart on his sleeves, standing up to the challenge from his bigger opponents. Pat said after 3 tough losses on the trot, the Hunters had to do some soul-searching, which was going back to the basics and their processes that got them the result.
Like other teams, if you look about Igadol or middle so strong not play, but other team play right, so I'm kind of normal work middle like this. Yeah.
Commenting on his current form and how he's embracing the season thus far, Pat stated that being a middle forward, he has a big role to play, and that is to lead from the front. He's looking forward to bringing the same energy to Capra's game this weekend. On how he's looking forward to playing his 50th game, Pat took time to acknowledge and reflect back on the journey from his humble beginnings under his former Gurrier mentor and Hunters Foundation coach Michael Marum, who gave him this opportunity.
I've been coming set since 2019 time. Coach Marum started making me coming set, but me no start finishing me. I've been Afliam or releasing me because down the Korea's been coming to 2021, 22, but like me no play plenty game. And then at 2023, me down the Korea's full. And last year and this year, like coach William gave me big opportunities. People thank you, Blooming, go back to coach William, give me opportunity. Last year, me play full season, and this year, large on milestone, like career for me.
On the prospect of wearing the national team colours Kumuls, Pet said it's a dream of every Papua New Guinean to represent the country, and given the form he's at, he would be keeping his hopes high come November for the end of the year Pacific Championships. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the midday news. Do join us at 6 tonight for the main bulletin.
Me start now, but me walk back. Tok now. Tok lo me, every long. Me at the ground, lo ya. Masini ibin bagrabim. Na me drain waral nungut. Lowanem. Na lugim, company em kisi money. Ranway lo country blowen finish. Em gonna send him lo country blowen. Lowanem, em kisi money lowanem up. No gat, em kisim lo me. Em become still lo me. Em or semna. Lugim nami bagrap stop. Lawanem nes last. O sa na nami tok now. Blare ma. Tumbuna ne tete ikam. Tumbu ikam ne ikam papa nami begin to same pasin nami stop it. You know sense. O sa nami stop rubbish now. O sa nami inanaplo amamas now. One can tindi no ogda. Community lo ya. Community ya. One can tindi nami tok ya. And one can. Per blory one can. Tindi blory one can. Service no come up. Oh, some no come up, straight. Look at me, start passing the before. 2 tag.